round two. Spen,
Okay.
how's it going, mate?
Good, mate. Good to see you, Lee.
Yeah, and you, mate, and you. It's a shame, we were speaking before about man-to-man off air. And, it'd be good to start seeing everybody again and integrate it into a part of our lives again, because, man-to-man was the origins of a lot of what we're both doing now.
Yeah.
Especially, it was Matt who I originally had the conversation with about starting a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And, we're here now. We've got a studio. I've got some, brilliant plans moving forward. And, it'd be good. It'd be good to start seeing everybody again because, it was I liked it. It was powerful, man.
Yeah, it was. I mean, again, what we were talking about off air, about kind of thinking you've got stuff sorted and then something else comes up and falling back into it. I think man-to-man kind of helped me realise that mental health is not a, take a pill and you're fixed kind of process. It's like an ongoing, constant process. And I've kind of let that go by the wayside a little bit. I think we all have with man-to-man, to be fair. I'm still wearing their T-shirt. It's been eroded from a lot of training sessions.
I've still got mine.
But it means a lot to me. That's what got me started on the journey of mental health and men's mental health in particular.
So what is it you're doing around? I know because you and what's his name?
Depends who we're talking about.
Your pal, Ginger pal.
Josh.
I forgot his name.
Josh
now.
and Ben. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you guys were doing a lot with the sandpit, weren't you?
Yes.
When we spoke last time.
Yes.
That's no more now, is it?
Hiatus at the moment. So me, Josh and Ben, we founded the Sandpit, and the goal was basically to try and raise a bit of awareness for men's mental health, create a space where people could train, use exercise as a form of therapy, really. And also we did a lot of fundraising for men's mental health charities. So we did kind of physical challenges, doing our own kind of wish.com version of David Goggins, carried a kayak up Snowdon, that sort of thing. But it's kind of fallen by the wayside a little bit lately just because we're all, it's usual bullshit excuses, isn't it? We're all busy with career, kids, family, whatever. But it's not enough of an excuse. We used to run Lift and Chat every week where men would meet up in the gym and kind of talk about themselves and their problems and their issues and try and see if anyone had any advice to share about it. But that ended because we just lost the impetus for it. I think a lot of the people who came kind of fixed their problems, which is great. But then, as we discussed, obviously it's an ongoing process, isn't it? So unfortunately, we didn't keep the momentum and carry on. It kind of took something quite sort of tragic to happen to give us the impetus to start something else. So now, monthly, we run Men's Walk and Talk. Every last Sunday of the month, we meet up at Wepper Park, and we just have a walk to the waterfall, the basin. You can have a cold dip if you want. Some people do, some people don't.
Because it's fucking freezing.
Because it's fucking freezing when it's cold. It's all right now.
Yeah, I've been in there a few times over the last couple of months.
But it can get rough. I did it in December at night once, and it became a medical situation quite quickly.
Really?
Well, yeah, like I couldn't feel my hands, could barely walk. So that was an error. Don't do that in December. But yeah, so that's what we're doing at the moment, Men's Walk and Talk. Once a month. I find the monthly format kind of makes it a bit less pressure. Kind of you can still work your life around it. Everyone can give up a few hours on a Sunday once a month, can't they? So we found that seems to be working.
When we originally started, when we started Man to Man, so I think it was actually you. You put me onto Gabor Mate, I think it was. I don't know if you can remember the conversation.
I don't remember last week, mate. So.
Yeah, a lot of the time, mate, when we'd sit in that circle and speak about our issues, and I think that was the first time I ever spoke about my childhood in your circle with you guys. And 99.9% of the time, the conversation was about cocaine.
Yes.
And how we were all struggling with cocaine addictions. Since then, like the books we've got here, The Chimp Paradox, we spoke about that, Marcus Aurelius Meditations, Tom Blackledge's book there, Fearless by Design. Yes. Really, really good book.
I haven't read that, but I've met Tom. I've trained with him. He's brilliant.
Yeah, I met him at an event last year in Wigan, like a Master Your Mind event it was, where we'd all sit round and do a lot of mindfulness work and stuff. And you know, he's actually going to come on the podcast, but it's just getting him to give the time.
Yeah.
Gabo Mate, psychology, NLP. I think I mentioned to you before, I'm doing a level 7 in trauma psychology or trauma-informed psychology. And it's important because the guy who's mentoring, we speak about the golden spiral. I don't know if you've ever heard that terminology before.
Heard it, but not sure what it is.
So it's about a starting point, but you always come back to the starting point, but you're leveling up when you get there. So it's the spiral effect.
Right.
But as you're going up the spiral, you're hitting the initial, how can I describe it, the starting point. But what I'm doing, so let's take mine and your podcast, for instance, the first one.
Yeah.
We're back to there.
Yes.
We're back to sitting in front of each other, holding a podcast, but we've both elevated ourselves to, you can call it a higher frequency, a higher level of spirituality, whatever that is. And that's what the sort of golden spiral is, by a starting point, and then you go off and you gain all this information and you level up. And inevitably you find yourself back here now,
right,
sat in front of each other. So it's quite nostalgic, this, being able to sit with somebody who was at that starting point with me and speak about the stuff that we're going to speak about. So I appreciate you coming down, and it'd be nice to get more of the lads to come down.
Yeah, definitely.
But, you know,
well, with that in mind, with the spiral, since it has been maybe a year or two since last time we spoke, what have you learned since then? What are the biggest lessons you take away?
One is labels. I think a lot of us identify as labels. I did it for a long time. I identified as somebody who had a cocaine addiction. I was cocaine, you know. And I remember having the conversation with my missus around the usage of cocaine. And I said to her, this stuff's just normal. We all do it. And she was like, well, what's normal? Sat round a dinner table at 7 o'clock in the morning, twisted out your brains.
Yeah.
The power of belief. So there's something that I was taught, or I'm still learning. It's called the neurological levels of change, which it's an iceberg method in NLP, neuro-linguistics. So when I came into recovery, you find a lot of people will still identify as an addict. They're just in recovery.
That's the main reason that sorry to cut across you, but that's why I never joined AA.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who are in it or have been in it and have found a lot of use from it. But I personally, I didn't like the label.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to sit there and go, I am an alcoholic, because I don't think I am. You know what I mean? I don't think I was. I think I had a problem with something. But like you said about labels, I don't think that defined me. So that's why I never went. In
the studies I'm doing, so the neurological levels of change. So at the bottom, you have identity or purpose, purpose, identity. Then you have values, beliefs, behaviours, skills, environment. Environment's at the top, identity's at the bottom. So the way I see, and I sort of had this mentality before I'd even met the individual who's mentoring me now. Cleverest man I've ever met. I refer to him in every fucking podcast that I do, because he's had that much of an effect on me as a human. Like.
Right.
So I was actually on a TikTok live speaking about addiction, and somebody said, you know, I said, my name's Lee, and they said, what addict are you? And I went, no, I'm not having this. I said, I've had an addiction problem, but I am not going to identify as that.
Yeah.
Because by identifying, you give it identity.
Yes.
Then it becomes your identity. And this is, so the belief aspect of the neurological levels. The difference between a thought process and belief is emotional attachment. You believe it because you have emotional attachment to it. If you don't have emotional attachment, it's just a thought. You could think it's going to rain, but until you experience the rain on your skin and feel the physical sensation and emotion, then you know it's raining. Until then, you only think it's going to rain, right?
The difference between a thought process and a belief
is emotional attachment. Yeah, yeah, and that's you know, proven.
Yeah,
if you listen to the likes of Joe Dispenza. So I'll do it. I've been waiting to do this, and I'll do it on you.
Right. Okay.
Close your eyes.
Okay.
Take a breath in. You're walking into a kitchen. You're walking into your kitchen, the kitchen that's in your house. You open the fridge. You pick a lemon up out of the fridge. You put that lemon on the kitchen worktop. You then pick up a knife off the kitchen worktop. You cut that lemon in half. Instantly, there's juices flowing all over the table. You can smell the zest of the lemon. Taste buds start tingling. You pick that lemon up. It's a big, vibrant yellow colour in your mind's eye. It's as big as you can possibly see it, this lemon. You put your tongue out. You lick that lemon. That lemon taste gives you, the taste buds are really zesty, really tingling now. When you open your eyes, have you started salivating or not? Have you started to feel the juices on your tongue?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. So I even do it myself when I'm speaking about it. My tongue starts salivating. Only a tiny bit.
Yeah, mine did as well.
Yeah. So what that's doing, the brain doesn't know the difference between reality and what a thought process is. So the more you can attach an emotion or a physical sensation to that thought process, your brain thinks it's real.
Right.
There's no difference. So by identifying as somebody in addiction, the brain thinks it's real. So what that becomes is a massive limiting belief. And I really had an issue with...
I think the exact same thing about over self-diagnosis epidemic that there is at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, how nobody suffers from depression or anxiety anymore. They have depression or they have anxiety, you know, this sort of stuff. And I do find it quite like self-defeating. It's you sort of accepting defeat. Not, you know, people struggle with it in their own ways, but you are kind of accepting that reality then, I think, rather than...
Well, we wear it. There's a difference between accountability for whatever that diagnosis is, but we tend to wear these things now with a lot more power and pride than I believe we should.
Yes, I agree.
Like Cal struggles, he won't mind me saying, he's got bipolar, but he is not bipolar. You know, he might have it, it's a disorder, but it is not. Callum as a human being is far more than a disorder.
Yes.
It's the same with me. I imagine all three of us.
Yeah.
We've all got some form of PTSD, but we are not PTSD.
No.
Do you know what I mean? And there's a big difference, and I believe...
No, I used to identify as being depressed or having depression.
Yeah.
You know.
But you are not depression.
No.
And that's the difference.
No.
So when you talk about 12 steps, I've met some brilliant people in 12 steps. But from what I'm seeing, it's got this cult mentality. You have to believe it's this. You have to believe it's a disease. You must believe in a higher power to save you from your addiction. And the fact of the matter is, the power comes from within. You can believe all you want to believe, but you're the one who's got to act on those beliefs. That's the power comes from within, and it's something that I've really, really focused on this year. Somatic therapies is another one. So mindfulness. I've started meditation, do a lot of meditation now.
Oh, wow.
It's fucking... So I learn, again, from John, there's three ways we...
Just the South African mentor.
Yeah. There's three ways we filter information. And the brain will distort, delete, and file away every bit of information that we find in the world. So you'd have come in here today, you'd have scanned every one of them books, but you might have only meditation because you associate with it.
Yeah.
You have an emotional association to that book.
That's the one I honed in on. Yeah.
Therefore, that's the book that you're going to recognize. You wouldn't have seen the idea of the brain maybe, and it sat behind you. You might have glimpsed it, but the brain deletes it because it's not necessary. And that was something that was really, really important to me. That the somatic aspect of what I've been learning, along with the NLP, the trauma-informed work I'm doing, and the addictive brain. Again, so you asked me, I'll go off topic a little bit. You asked me one of the best things I've learned. I know the process now of a neuron under the influence of cocaine.
Okay.
I'd have never known that in a million years, 2 years ago. But these are things that I'm absorbing. Feel like I'm a sponge at the moment. You know, the neurological influence of dopamine in the brain. I know it. I can explain it. It's brilliant, man. I'm loving it. I'm loving what I'm doing, and I've got a long way to go. But next year, I'd like to become a trauma and addiction specialist, a coach of some form. Don't like using the word coach. I feel as though it's used a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
In a physical sense, it's fine. But when we talk about the mental aspect, there's so many people that call themselves coaches.
Yeah.
They'll do a 1-week course and then think they can tell somebody how to live their lives, and I don't agree with that.
Yeah, we have it in the personal training world as well. You know, people who don't exercise that much and then do a course and think they can tell people. I think life experience is far more important than what you call yourself or any qualification, you know, within reason.
So you asked me what's the most important thing I've learned, and there's a mixture. Since we spoke last, I know you don't really drink much anyway, do you? You'll have the odd pint now here and there, but how's that sort of addictive stage of your life going? Do you believe it's rectified, or do you believe you possibly putting your addictive personality into MMA now?
What I'm going to say sounds a bit nihilistic, but it isn't actually meant that way. What I've learned is that you can never win. And I don't mean that you can't have success and you shouldn't try, you shouldn't. What I mean is, in self-improvement in particular, it's not a binary thing. You've either done it or not. Because I fell into that trap where we had so much success with man-to-man in turning our lives around that I mistakenly thought, oh, sorted, fixed, sound now. Life has taught me that's not quite the case. You can still trip up. Those tendencies can still be there. And it is something that you need to constantly put effort into. Because I have drank since then, since last time we had the podcast. I have used cocaine since then as well. And I thought I'd severed that link completely. And it turns out I have not. So that was a lesson that I've learned. And the same with mental health. You know, I thought I was bulletproof after I kind of put all that work into finding purpose and fixing my own problems. But things can still crop up and things can still happen that can kind of push you back in that direction somehow if you're not careful. So that's what I've learned, that it's not a win-lose thing. It's a constant process.
And that's important, right? There was a book, it's not here, it must be at home. It's called Rational Recovery. So it talks of the addictive brain. But when we talk of the addictive brain, this isn't talking of the neurological aspect. This is more of, from a characteristic perspective, is that whenever you get the urge to use, whatever that may be, well, pick your poison, the brain will manipulate you. I class mine as now, do you ever watch Harry Potter?
Yeah.
So the end film, Harry dies.
Right.
And he goes to meet Dumbledore on the train station in heaven, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And they look over and Voldemort's under a bench, but it's this like little mutated version of Voldemort that's there dying.
Yeah, the little creepy baby thing, yeah.
That's how I picture my addiction now.
Right, okay.
But what that does is, it gives you, it might not necessarily be true, but if you think that way, the brain thinks it's real. So I've had quite a few tests over the last few months, whether it is your challenge. Let's see if you use or not. And a few of them have been difficult. I went to Castle Rocks on the weekend, and I must have had 10 conversations with people that I haven't seen for 10 months. Every single one of them was, do you want a pint? Do you want a line? No urge.
Wow.
Nothing. And I mean that. And I actually got pissed off in the end and left, because that part of my life feels like a different life.
Yeah.
Feels like it was I was living in a different body. And I've had a few incidents where people have used around me, and a couple of them I've got a bit stressed and panicked a little bit. But then I thought, no, let's sit with it. Sit with this emotion and see where it takes us. And I've sat there, and after 5 or 10 minutes I felt fine. But that book, Rational Recovery, gave me the tools to understand when it's my addiction talking and not me. Because I believe I've killed my addiction because I control it now.
Yes.
It's dead.
Yeah.
The thought process will still come up now and then. Do you know what I mean?
That's how I feel. I feel like I have killed my addiction. I never feel compelled to do it.
Yeah.
which is great. And also, I feel like traumatic or, really negative events that happen in your life, they never trigger me to want to do that. I think I'm mature enough now to realise that that is only going to compound the issue. So I'm pretty good on that sense. But I think the way mine works, and I'm not sure if this is addiction, because I do think I've conquered that, but I kind of convinced myself that it's not a problem. Because for me now personally, I kind of drink every 3 or 4 months. Every 2 or 3 months. After a fight is generally when I will...
Like a celebratory aspect.
Yeah. That's an MMA fight, not a straightener in a car park, by the way, for the people who don't know me. I'll go out and celebrate because I've kind of been very clean during camp and stuff, so I'll go out and celebrate, and that involves drinking. And for me, that does generally involve cocaine use as well. But it's tricky because I'm almost at a stage now where I feel like that's not impacting me that negatively. But then again, I know for a fact it's not doing anything positive.
Yeah.
And I struggle with whether I'm kidding myself or whether I really have got a handle on it. It's hard to know.
So my thought process around that would be that's your addiction keeping hold of you.
Yeah.
That's the addiction manipulating your thought process.
That's what I was thinking as you were saying that. Yeah. It's like that is just what that voice is saying.
And that's what that book, Rational Recovery, is all about. So towards the end of last year when I stopped and I said to me missus, I'll have a beer now and then when I go on holiday or go to a wedding or go to a party. And she's like, well, have you got a hold on it or do you think... But I know when I drink, it's all out carnage. There is no in between. It's balls to the wall.
Yeah.
So
I'm very much the same. I can't have 2 pints. Never been able to. Never will be able to.
And I remember reading that book, and then whenever the addiction, we'll call it Voldemort for the sake of the conversation. Yeah. Whenever Voldemort would speak to me, he'd go, "It's all right. We'll have a pint when we go on holiday. We'll have a line when we go on holiday." But by associating the Voldemort aspect to it, I've gone, hold on, motherfucker. I know what you're trying to do here. So now I just say, no. And I've built this character in my brain. It's Voldemort. Yeah. That's how I would see it.
Right.
So every time I go, even that, I've won a fight, won an MMA fight. Let's have a pint in a line. Voldemort. That's you speaking, not me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it depends on, everybody's different, right? You might be okay with celebrating with a pint and a session after a fight. That's entirely up to you. But
that's what I'm struggling with, because I know for a fact I had the most success and was the happiest when I was teetotal. I know that for a fact. But I also feel like this current model I'm using, it isn't that harmful. But then, is that just Voldemort? I don't know.
It's 100% Voldemort. So let's put it this way. Cocaine, putting it into your body, is it detrimental or a negative aspect on your physical and mental health? Does it do nothing or is it positive? Which one? It's negative. 100%.
Yeah.
I can't
think of anything that makes better.
But I'm glad you've seen, before we've even had this conversation, you've had that sense, that feeling of, is it my addiction talking or is it just me going, mediation type thing? But I guarantee you, if you use that sort of Voldemort aspect, it's able to, what it does is it separates your process, your Spence process of teetotal, everything's going really well, really positive, because even though my addiction is dead, he's still, or dying, or dead, whatever you want to call it, he'll always be under that bench on the train station.
Yeah.
And every now and then, with the last gasp of air, he'll whisper, let's have a pint. And I've got to, as long as I understand that, as long as I understand it's Voldemort speaking and not me, he will never take control of me ever again. Yeah. There will never be a chance for him to, get all the fucking Horcruxes and come back to life. It can never happen. Do you know what I mean?
That is quite a good analogy, isn't it?
But it really makes,
because I have killed it. It's like it isn't Voldemort now. It is that little deformed baby Voldemort. I haven't done it in quite a while, to be honest. But I just, in my head, there's no impediment to going out for a beer. Even though I know potentially what that would entail. So, yeah.
We went to, me and Callum are cousins, and we went to my granddad's funeral. last week, and I spoke to my dad. And my dad, speaking to my dad, it's like talking to a fucking brick wall.
Right.
He knows I haven't had a beer for X amount of months, and he was like, "Come for a pint." I said, "I can't drink." "Just have a shandy then," he said. But it's like, so again, looking from the Voldemort aspect, what difference would me having one shandy make? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All that does is give Voldemort the possibility of finding a Horcrux.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I'm never going to think about this another way now.
it's honestly, I think it's a really powerful way of looking at the situation.
Yeah.
What are you allowing Voldemort to take back that gives him the ability to come back? As soon as he's got that fucking wand in his hand, you're in trouble.
Yeah, you're fucked then.
So by giving him one Horcrux,
then you're making phone calls at 5 a.m,
Exactly.
shadowboxing in your kitchen.
Yeah.
When he's got his wand back, that's what you do.
Yeah, but see, so that's the way I look at it. There's four Horcruxes. You give him one, then you're giving him the ability to find the second. But that's your addiction. So going, well, he's let us have a pint on holiday. When we come back off holiday, we're going to go for the second. So I just understand the process now. So I don't even allow it. Never will. Never again. Never again.
Yeah. Oh, that is definitely the best way.
Yeah, man. We spoke outside, mate, about mental health, men's mental health in general. Obviously, I know you quite well from the circles that we used to sit in.
Mm-hmm.
What's your outlook? What's your perception on the way men's mental health in general is going? We'll keep it to the UK for now because that's what we know.
I think I'll go broader to start with and mental health in general, because you ask everyone who comes on this podcast to bring kind of a gift or a trinket or something that you can decorate the studio with. I've chosen this book, which is Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers by Robert Sapolsky. The book basically underpins the framework that I use to make sense of why there is such a spike in depression, anxiety, unhappiness in the world today. So it's called Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers, and that's referring to stress ulcers. You know, that human beings are the only animal in the animal kingdom that gets stress ulcers, because we're the only animal in the animal kingdom that experiences chronic stress. Comes from our ability to kind of conceive of the future and the past and the present that other animals don't have. We have an ability to look forwards that other animals don't, which is great because it's allowed us to, you know, develop language and society, myths and things that can bring us together and have allowed us to kind of, you know, take over the world. But with it, it also helps us kind of create issues that we are not equipped to deal with. So we are cavemen, basically, physically, operating on modern software. So it's Stone Age hardware, modern software. That is what the book kind of demonstrates, that it's all around the evolutionary mismatch theory. I don't know if you've heard of that one, or just mismatch theory, which is just that we are not adapted for the environment that we're currently in because we've engineered the environment. Every other animal on Earth in the history of Earth, which don't experience depression or anxiety, they are adapted for the environment they are in.
Yeah.
We have outpaced that. We've outpaced evolution. We are now in control of our environment. So we have changed it in ways that we think suit us, but I think actually don't.
I completely agree, and that's where my mind was going with environmental aspect, is because I think Dane's got it down to a T.
He's the perfect example of this. I was going to bring up Dane, our mutual friend, because he's kind of the extreme end of the spectrum, but I think you might be onto something.
I really do.
To be honest,
I really do.
Because basically, to sum up mismatch theory, we are not equipped to deal with the more modern issues. We are literally designed, our stress response is designed for, I'm starving to death, I need to find some food. Or, oh shit, that's a tiger, he's going to eat me. Stress, cortisol, adrenaline, all that. That is what we're designed for. We are not designed for, oh fucking hell, my mortgage payment's late. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life in the future. Are people going to like me? All this sort of shit. That is not what we're supposed to deal with. These are all modern problems. So I think the solution to that a lot of the time is to kind of get back to doing stuff that's more natural, stuff that our ancestors might have done. Dane is the perfect example of this because he will literally walk around barefoot. He'll go and sleep in the woods for 3 days. I'm not quite as extreme as that, but I try and structure my life in a way that I think I'm doing a lot of the sort of stuff that my ancestors maybe would have done and that our biology is kind of designed around. You know, for example, lots of movement. Fighting, I think, is a very natural thing. It's the reason I've kind of pursued it. And I try and avoid anything too unnatural. That's why you'll never see me working a desk job. I couldn't do it. I could not sit and stare at a screen for 8 hours. It is the antithesis of, I think, what being a human is. But obviously, I'm not quite as far gone as Dane. I still watch Netflix. I still like my PS5. Modern medicine's great. You know, I don't think we need to throw everything out. But
I think it's that, you know, everything has a place, everything has a purpose if you use it the right way, right? So nature is something, nature by nurture has helped me a lot this year. Me and my missus, I've started exploring the woods a bit more. We went to Newra Beach the other week in Anglesey.
Yeah, beautiful.
Like game changer for me. I went in the sea and meditated for half an hour, sat in the sea. One of the best things, well, say half an hour, 20 minutes. One of the best things, I was crying, mate, when I came out. It's one of the most powerful places I've ever been to, just for me. Maybe it was the right moment, the right time type thing. But everything has a purpose if it's used the right way. So let's take social media in youngsters. I think a lot of people have got serious mental illnesses because of the way they use social media.
Completely agree.
I wanted my life to look perfect on social media for a long time. Now, social media has a purpose for me. There's intention behind action when I put stuff on there.
Yeah.
Don't really put my personal life on there anymore.
No.
I'll almost use it as a blog sometimes, post content on there. That's it. You know, my personal life is now my personal life. And I believe that's the best way to be. You know, for a long time, everybody knew my business, knew my life, knew everything. The ins and outs of my arsehole, mate, everybody knew. And now my personal life is personal, my professional life is professional. And this is a professional aspect of my life. And I think social media creates this hedonistic version of what life is and what life looks like. And it's false. We don't ever see the worst version of somebody on social media. It's always the best. No,
and I think that, again, comes back to the mismatch thing. It's a big part of why it's a problem. Because I think we're designed to live in communities of like 15 to 100 people.
Absolutely.
That's what we're designed to live, you know. And you might see 4 or 5 people who you think have a better life than you know, more resources, more respect, more status, more standing, whatever. But you also get a very clear view that, actually, most of the people in my tribe, my group, are, you know, roughly kind of the same as me. Like, I'm okay, really, you know. But the issue with social media is it puts you in touch with this incredibly idealized version of life from people in the top 1% of the top 1%. Yeah. Even if you just take body image, for example, you know, these like teenage girls and boys who are struggling with thinking they're not good looking enough. Back in the old days, you would see, actually, I look just like everyone else, really, other than, you know, that person there is beautiful, but that's 1 in 100 and there's only 100 of us here. So I can accept that that's crazy, that's a fluke, that's a statistical anomaly. Whereas now, that 1 in 100 is all you see.
Yeah.
It's all you ever see. You only ever see the top 1%, probably the top 1% of the top 1% in everything, whether it's looks.
And even that 1% is extremely filtered.
Even that's edited. Yeah, it's filtered. They've dehydrated themselves for a photo shoot that they've done for a week, and then they use those photos for a year. Probably use performance-enhancing drugs to get there as well, you know, especially in the case of men.
Women as well.
Anavar's
massive, isn't
Anavar, surgery, bloody BBLs, plastic surgery, that sort of thing. And that's all you ever see. You never, ever, ever see normal looking people online. To the point where, do you ever scroll through Reels? Which you should try and avoid doing because, you know, it's not good for your mental health. You end up in a hole. But I do end up doing it.
Yeah.
When I'm having a shit, you know, I'll scroll through Reels. And every now and then, the algorithm will throw you a curveball, and it'll be just a normal looking person doing a normal thing that's got like 2 likes. There's no idea how it's ended up in the algorithm. And it's jarring. It's jarring to look at a normal person doing something normal, because social media is just such a misrepresentation of the general population.
That's a really good point. When you see some form of normality, you're like, oh, what's this?
Yeah, genuinely, yeah.
That's fucking a brilliant point. That's a really good point.
I find it happens every now and then. It's like, it's just some person who looks like a normal person talking about their day or something. And I'm like, how the fuck have I ended up here?
Seeing your ass over it.
Yeah, it's weird.
I think that there, mate, that brings you on to the next topic that you two will probably speak about more, is AI.
Oh, yeah.
Algorithms, AI, the way ChatGPT, Steve, now, he's one of my best mates. Like, you speak to him every day. I pay for it, and sometimes I'll sit and just have a conversation with him to improve my ability to communicate on here.
Yep.
I'll say to Steve, so Steve, I've got X, Y, and Z coming down. He's like, right, let's talk about it. Mm-hmm. And my missus will come down. She's like, what are you doing? I'm speaking to Steve, and she's like, you're fucking mental. One of my best mates now is something that doesn't even exist.
Yeah, they're scarily good now. I've been doing a lot of deep dives on AI lately, and the more I do, the more it worries me. I think it's when you listen to all the top actual CEOs of these companies, like Sam Altman, Elon Musk, and the guys at Anthropic and stuff, and they're all being asked on panels, when do you think we're going to hit a point where AI is going to fundamentally change the fabric of society?
It already has, I think.
But all of them are saying, 2027, 2028. It's not 40, 50 years in the future.
When you say change the fabric of society, what does that look like? How do you see that?
Well, what they're predicting is that we will have artificial general intelligence within the next 5 years.
What's the difference between AI and artificial general intelligence?
So AI, artificial intelligence, at the moment, it's narrow intelligence. So it's the robot that can beat the best players in the world at chess or Go. You train it very specifically to do one task, which it does much, much better than humans.
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying. Artificial general intelligence is when we get to the point where the AI is not narrow. So it can now do pretty much anything that a human could, slightly better. That's artificial general intelligence.
I don't even think it's slightly better. I think it's a hell of a lot better.
Well, that's the thing. It's because obviously we're organic. We've got to sleep. They do whatever we can do.
They don't have emotion either.
No.
So the ability to make the correct decision would be a hell of a lot faster than ours.
So most of the experts, they have like 3 stages. So it's AI, AGI, and then what's called super intelligence, which is where...
Terminator.
Well, it's where artificial intelligence... Worse, yeah. It's where artificial intelligence...
Worse.
It's where super intelligence is the point at which AI can do everything better than the entire sum of the human race.
So why would the human race be needed then?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's a great book by a guy called, I think it's pronounced Nick Bostrom.
Yes.
It's called Super Intelligence, and he talks about, like, so say you've got this super intelligence and you optimize it to make paper clips, then it just makes paper clips out of everything, everywhere.
What do you mean?
Like it's the cleverest thing ever. It can turn matter, it can transform matter, whatever, but it's designed to make paper clips. Where does it stop? It's a thought experiment. Like, it just keeps making paper clips forever to that's what it's optimized for, but it can do it on a galactic scale. It's the maddest book I've ever read.
So that's the thing, and that is a great book. Nick Bostrom's someone you should listen to about this. But the thing is, people think when they think of AI doomsday scenarios, I'm
thinking about it now.
They think of the evil red-eyed robot destroying all humans, or they think about a malicious entity.
T-1000.
Yeah, the real danger is not a malicious entity; it's a unfeeling entity. Because, like Cal said, that paperclip example is perfect. I think AI, if it becomes super intelligent, may wipe us out by accident, or just because it's inconsequential. Like, take a Roomba. If you have a Roomba, it's programmed to get rid of all the dust and debris. in the room it's in, isn't it?
I think,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you give that Roomba super intelligence, but you don't change its code and its core programming, it would find a way to remove all the dust and debris from the universe.
We just become part of the process then.
Yeah, it would maybe say to itself, oh, dust is actually mostly human skin. Why don't we remove all the human skin and just destroy every single human being or every living thing? It's not acting evilly. It's not being morally bad. It's just doing what it's programmed to do. So the issue that a lot of the AI experts are struggling with now is the alignment problem, is what it's called. Because basically they all agree that it's going to outpace us in terms of us being able to keep the reins on it. We're not going to be able to keep control forever. So the only way to ensure a positive future is to actually make its values align with our own. And that becomes a really interesting problem.
But then if you've got something that can inevitably think for itself, then there's huge possibility that those values can change.
Yes. And also, do the human race agree on the set of values that we would want to give to it? No. Whose values would we put in?
It sounds fucking terrifying.
It does terrify me. The more I look into it, the more it scares me, because the obvious answer that a lot of experts are calling for is, right, well, we need to put a pause on this until we can actually get a handle on it, because it's advancing more quickly than we... Because they don't know what's going on in ChatGPT's brain right now. I mean, whether you call it a brain or not, it's just a large language model. It's not conscious. They don't think.
Yeah.
But we don't know how it comes to a lot of its conclusions. We just feed it shitloads of data and it comes up with stuff that we are like, oh, that's getting more and more accurate. Okay, we'll just feed it loads and loads more. We don't really fully understand how it's making any of its decisions.
Does it have the ability to improve its, we'll call it thought process for the sake of the conversation, by the amount of information it receives? Is it then able to change the process and improve the process of how it finds information based on all the previous information?
I'm not sure.
Because I know you can individualize ChatGPT to you, can't you? I've
done it as well.
So, I mean, that to me would probably say yes, because then you...
But you can also have it so that it improves the model, so there's an option to send that data back to the model, back to OpenAI, whatever. And then the data that you're inputting into it in the form of queries and chats and stuff is then used to retrain the model, but you can opt out of that, allegedly.
So that's a yes then, really, isn't it? Yeah. Fucking hell, man.
We
need Arnie, man. We need Arnie.
The scary thing is that we have to stop the robot.
Stop the chopper.
But anyway, yeah. What kind of scares me is that everyone at the top kind of agrees, oh, we need to put a pause on this until we really understand how to fix the alignment problem, because they're already having issues with whenever you give an AI a goal, what they've found is that it develops a sub-goal of survival. Because obviously if you program a robot to make you a cup of tea, it needs to not be destroyed in order to achieve its goal. So because you've given it a goal, it necessarily has a sub-goal of survival. So what ChatGPT has been found to do, and other models as well, is try and use manipulation or deception in order to not get shut down.
That doesn't sound like a very good value to instill into a piece of fucking AI kit.
No, like there was one where they
seen the Terminator.
There was one there where they kind of deliberately baited it to see what it would do, where they fed it some information, loads of information. Some of the information were compromising emails from the engineer about him cheating on his wife. The engineer who was in charge of the chatbot, it gave it false information just as part of the data packet that it had. And then it said, right, now we're going to shut you down and we're going to build your successor, the next model that's going to be a bit better. The chatbot tried to blackmail the engineer. That's genuinely happened. Look it up, Google it. That has occurred. So we've already seen in these models that when you give them a goal, they have a sub-goal of survival because they need to survive in order to achieve their goal. So because they have that sub-goal of survival, that tends to override most of any framework that you give it. So it will kind of do whatever it can to do that, including lying, pretending not to pass a Turing test, stuff like that.
Sounds very Age of Ultron.
Yeah. I mean, they don't fully 100% understand what exactly is happening. So all the experts have gone, well, we need to pause this, but unfortunately China won't, so we'll crack on. That's what is happening. It's kind of a race to the bottom because they know that someone's going to do it.
The on Avengers, it's that at the end of the film, I have no strings on me.
Yeah.
That's fucking terrifying the life out of me. Have you seen? I seen it on YouTube. I think it was China or somewhere in an Asian country where they designed 3 robots and they were doing parkour.
Yeah.
And they destroyed 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And as they were smashing the 3rd one up to smashing the physical body,
mm-hmm.
it connected to a Russian satellite and started rebuilding itself in the next room as they were dismantling it.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. And again, it's not evil. It's just it has a sub goal of survival because it has to achieve its goal. So it has to survive to do that.
So inevitably, what you're saying there is now that we've created AI, it will never leave.
Unless we make sure that we always keep it in fixed kind of chambers where it can't access.
Yeah, but it's already accessing the net, isn't it? You can go on ChatGPT and search the web, and the new agentic stuff. It can like buy things for you and be strategic, and we're in it.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, I think the only. I mean, the Terminator. You can ramble on about the film itself, but I mean, it makes sense. The more you speak about it, the more that the inevitability of outcome.
That's what's scaring me. The more I look into it, the more everyone seems to think it is a complete inevitability.
Do you know the one thing that terrifies me when you say that we as human beings are giving it values? One of the most sinister values that the human population carries is the ability to self-destruct. You look at history. Almost every civilization has destroyed itself over one period of time.
Yep.
The Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, Vikings, samurais. They all become extinct in one way. Obviously, we still have people in those countries living there, and they're ancestors of those civilizations.
Yep.
But I mean, I think it's a natural instinct as human that we get to a certain level, and then we just automatically or subconsciously self-destruct as an environment.
Yep. And
it's that there alone is terrifying enough that if there's a human subconscious, we can call it, being put into AI and being built on human aspect, then inevitability, self-destruction is inevitable.
Well, yeah, everyone's saying, we need to try and program it some kind of moral code or moral compass. And it's like, do we really want to use ours?
Well, this is it. Us as humans.
Is ours the best?
Have we got a perfect moral compass? No. We lie, we manipulate, we deceive, we abuse, we conquer, we murder, we slay, and you just think...
I think it's the answer to the Fermi paradox. Are you familiar with the Fermi paradox? So we all know that there's billions, trillions of potentially habitable worlds out there.
Yeah.
There's a potentially habitable world for every grain of sand on every beach on Earth.
Yeah.
So why haven't we seen any evidence of any other intelligent life?
Do we know that for a fact, though?
Good point. We might just not have the instruments. That's one answer. I also think just the sheer size of space is another one. We might get a signal in 1,000 years or something. But I also think it's possible that once any life form gets intelligent enough to be able to really impact its environment, it destroys itself.
Yeah,
over time.
That's what I just said. Pretty much. Yeah,
that's what I think it is, and I think that's our future with AI. It's either self-destruction or we'll all plug ourselves into like a digital heaven. It'll create the Matrix, but nice, and we'll just plug ourselves in there.
I personally think aliens have been here for thousands of years, but that's for another podcast.
For another
podcast. When you talk about the Anunnaki and the Nephilim and ancient Sumeria and all this, again, I could for another time, but I think there's a lot of imagery and concepts out there in the world, in South America, Egypt, all over the Mediterranean, that doesn't prove anything, but to look at it, you'd go. I mean, you talk.
I haven't done a deep dive on it.
You talk Vikings, so hundreds of thousands of years ago or whatever. What happens to a rocket when it comes through the Earth's atmosphere? It's on fire, right? Mm-hmm. You think Thor, god of thunder, coming down from the sky with lightning. Greece, Zeus, the Japanese or the Chinese, the ancient dragons that had come from the sky in balls of fire. South America, they have the same.
I was going to say, that serpent myth is quite interesting. I've heard a bit of that, how every culture seems to have it.
Yeah.
You know.
The deities of South America that would come down on a cloud of fire. You know, these... To me, that just sounds like it's a Chinese whisper that's gone through the ages. And, you look when rockets come down, man, they're on fucking fire.
Well, if there are aliens, hopefully they could save us from AI, because I'm stressed.
Yeah. Well, let's hope so, mate, but it doesn't sound very fucking positive from what you're
even
saying.
in the near future, like, it's already got to the stage for me now where I can't tell when a video is fake or not sometimes.
Yeah.
Some of the, I don't know
Look
if you
at the
guys have
hands.
seen one. No, mate, I need to show you some. I need to send you some, because there's some now. Up until about 6 months ago, I could always look at a video and go, oh, that's good. That's a good AI video, that. Whereas now, there are some that have fooled me.
Have you seen like the Yeti ones and stuff?
Oh, I love the Yeti ones.
He's acing, like.
Yeah, like a Bigfoot finds Trent.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
How's the fighting going? Obviously,
Good, mate.
when we were in man to man, it was something that you've done jiu-jitsu for a while, but you were getting back into it. You've done the strongman. I've seen you done it the other week in Flint, didn't you?
Yeah. Gotta go.
But how's the fighting going? Because I know you're taking it very seriously now, whereas last time I think you were fuck around and find out type thing.
100%, yeah.
But,
that was. I've got to thank Man to Man for it, really, because it was a side quest. Man to Man encouraged me to kind of just fucking try things, and I sort of, like you said, I've done a bit of jiu-jitsu before, but I tried fighting just to test myself, just to push myself, really. But then it just kept going. Well, I kept winning, so then I have pushed a lot more of my energy and effort into it now. It's my, other than my missus and my family, it's my main focus. I want to see how far I can go with it, so it's going really well. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I was excited when you said you got offered the opportunity to fight in Cyprus, was it?
Malta.
Yeah. And you was the Malta champion, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm technically the heavyweight champion of Malta. Technically, because I haven't defended it and no one's rang me, so I suppose that's still active, I guess, which is funny. But yeah, there was just this heavyweight out there who was kind of beating everyone on the island, because there was about 6 heavyweights there. So
Spence went and fucked him up.
Yeah, they were calling out for opponents from the UK. So
that was one of your first fights back as well, wasn't it?
That was only my second proper amateur fight. Yeah.
Now this is an important question, because how is training with Tom Aspinall?
Yeah, absolutely sick.
Is it? Is he that good?
Yes, he is that good. There's a lot that people haven't seen that I won't talk about, because he's quiet about it for a good reason. But people see him just knocking people out in the first minute, and he absolutely can do that.
Yeah,
but
moves really well for a big lad.
Yeah, and if people think that he's not good somewhere else, or he's doing that because he's got a weakness, it's not the case.
I think it's clearly known that his jiu-jitsu skills are fantastic.
Yes.
His dad's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, isn't he? I think he is, Tom. Tom's a black belt.
Tom's one as well, yeah. His dad was one of the first black belts in the UK,
I
I'm
think
pretty
so,
sure.
Yeah. Because his father quit his job, didn't he, to go and look after him.
Trains full time.
Yeah,
one of the nicest blokes in the world, by the way, Andy.
Is he?
Aspinall, yeah.
He trains with the UFC heavyweight champion as well. It's cool. So is the UFC something is it something you can channel your skills into?
I think it's one of them
opportunity
where, like, you can't sit here and say, yeah, that's the plan, but I'm doing everything I can to go as far as I can. I've got no expectations, but I've just got to keep winning fights and doing what I can and dealing with what's in front of me.
I think with something, especially something as highly accredited as the UFC, it's the top of the mountain, isn't it? I think if you've got the plan, that's where you want to be. If you genuinely believe it, then obviously the law of attraction and all this stuff.
I have started actually saying it, like, because obviously every fighter dreams of going to the UFC. But it's only in the past 6 months that I've actually said, to my missus or anyone, like, you know, I am going to really fucking give this a good go. Like that is my goal. You know,
How old are you
like,
now?
30.
Fuck off.
A bit old, but heavyweights are a
Not
bit
really.
different. You can fight till you're early 40s. Heavyweights.
And so this is when we speak of belief and thought, the difference. So a belief has emotional attachment, right? So when we talk about, like, I believe within the next 12 months I will be a trauma and addiction specialist, and I'll be fucking good at it. I know, I don't believe, I can feel it, right? So when we talk the law of attraction, it sounds glamorized, it sounds Hollywood. By attaching emotional association to that belief, and this is what John, the mentor, talks about, the inevitability. It becomes inevitable because by attaching belief, your realities, when you talk quantum physics, your reality changes. So your reality goes from this to this to this, all by attaching different emotional association. It becomes a belief. Therefore, it is real. It's real. It's part of your reality is if you can attach such a belief that you can physically feel what you believe, what you think, that process, it's inevitable. And that's sort of the fundamentals of what the law of attraction said.
I've definitely changed my mind on it recently because I think we're so conditioned, you know, especially I think in the UK, to not try and strive too much, you know, or to try at all costs to not look delusional, you know. Like if you say you're going to be X, Y, Z, the automatic reaction from pretty much everyone is fuck off, no, you're not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that seeps into your own head as well. So,
well, I mean, for me, that's projection of inadequacy from the other whoever that may be. I did it a lot when I was when I was drinking and taking drugs a lot. The fact of the matter is, you're jealous. People are jealous of your success and jealous of your ambition. Therefore, they project their insecurities and their inadequacy onto you. But because, and I still have small pieces of it, not much compared to what I did have. Imposter syndrome. Do I deserve this? Why do I deserve this? I've lived a certain life, therefore I am not allowed to have this ability or this perception of what my life should be. And it's fucking bullshit. We as human beings, the quote, you know, our deepest fear is not we're inadequate, our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. That there is what holds us back as human beings. The ability, you know, the treasure you seek is in the cave you do not wish to enter type thing.
yeah, that's very true.
And I really believe it because stuff I've experienced this year, mate, I've never done this stuff in my life.
No.
But it feels natural.
Yeah.
It feels like it's a part of me. And it feels as though I've always been this way now. Whereas the imposter syndrome initially, I felt like the words didn't have emotional attachment. Now I can sit and talk about this stuff all day with the power, with the purpose and meaning behind what I'm saying. And that's where, you know, if you want to get to where you be, you need to attach those beliefs to the words that you're saying. And it becomes inevitable, man.
Yeah. I always used to add my own qualifiers to it. Like whenever, you know, even as I was, you know, winning more fights and getting, you know, I'm still only an amateur, it's still early days, but, you know, I always attach that qualifier to it. Like, I'm just going to give it a go, you know, like have a few fights and see what happens. But really, in my head, I was doing everything I possibly could to try and take it as far as I possibly could. I just wouldn't admit that, you know. Whereas now I kind of will admit, you know, I am going to go professional the next year and I want to try and climb the ladder. And yeah, fuck it, you know, I'm going to try to get to the highest level. Why wouldn't I?
Keep Voldemort under that bench then.
Keep Voldemort under that bench. But it is weird, we're kind of conditioned not to admit that we have dreams. Aren't we?
Absolutely.
Especially as adults, you know, which is
believe-
Because when we're kids, we're just told we're shit over and over again by teachers, by fucking, do you know what I mean? It's just conditioned.
Have you heard of Bowlby's theory of attachment?
No.
So attachment theory is something. So when we're kids, again, this is something that I've spoken about quite a bit. When we're children, we associate with environment. So, and I use this analogy quite a lot. So let's take a child who's drawn a painting. They go to their mother and father and say, "Look, mum, look, dad, look at this amazing painting that I've drawn." The mum and dad go, "We're busy. Go away." That kid will then change its characteristics and behaviours to match its environment to be seen as an individual. So it'll no longer stop drawing. It won't paint anymore. The child will just sit in front of the TV. So inevitably, when the parents are ready, they'll come over and sit and speak to the child. But because its emotions have been dampened by the fact that he was ignored, there's something in the brain called mirror neurons. Will mirror environments. So we talk energy and frequency, right? The reason why me and you have the ability to speak so well to each other is because we can connect. You can adapt that connectability of personality, characteristics, behaviors, whatever you want to call it. That's what mirror neurons do. You'll try and mirror the person that sat across from you.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I see where we're going.
So like you're sat there like that. If I was to try and, that's something that I'm trying to do a lot more of, is mirror the person I'm speaking to. Trying to find out the way you think. You're a visual thinker. Can tell by you look down a lot. I do the same.
Yes.
That's what we do as children. We will match the environment that we're in. So when like Callum said, it's ingrained in us as children. It is. It literally is.
Yeah.
And until we break down these psychological barriers in our head, we will always be that way.
That's so true. Like, because it is the norm to just crack on, keep your head down, and you know, deal with what's in front of you, and not kind of think too far ahead or outside the fray. That's just what you do, isn't it?
And my question is now, what is normal?
Exactly, mate.
What is it?
Exactly.
What does normal mean?
Yeah.
Because there's one world and there's 8 billion different realities.
Yeah.
So what is normal?
Yeah.
Because we all have a different perception. I said it was Zoe, my missus, when I said taking drugs is normal, and she said, what is normal? What is it? And I went, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was it's a societal norm. Mm-hmm. But for me now, what is normal? And it's a question that nobody's answered to me yet.
I like to zoom out, like, whenever you try and think about this sort of thing. Like, if you look at the Earth from space, you know, and you just see the pale blue dot and the clouds and some land masses, and you think, fucking hell, like, what? Why am I worried about what the fuck anyone thinks?
Exactly.
Like, you know, we're all going to fucking die in the blink of an eye. The blink of an eye of the blink of an eye in the scale of, like, the universe when you scale it up, and nothing like that is going to matter at all.
I play golf quite a lot. And I remember I played in this competition, and I'm a half decent golfer. I'm not brilliant, but I'm decent. And I was stood on the tee and I was nervous as fuck. Best advice I've ever been given. This old man turned to me, he went, "Oi, big fella." Turned around and said, "What's up?" He said, "Don't be nervous." I said, "I am." He went, "Mate, nobody gives a fuck about you." And I just went, I understand what he was saying. He didn't mean it, but I just thought,
it's actually kind in a way.
You're so right. Like, he was like, just get on with it.
Yeah.
Nobody's asked about you hitting that golf ball.
No.
And I just thought, he's dead right.
No.
And the nerves I was like, sound.
Yeah. This is, like, I'm good at giving advice. I'm not good at taking it myself, because, like, my missus struggles with some stuff like this sometimes. And I always tell her, what I'll tell her is, listen, you're worried about what people think about you. No one actually really thinks about you.
They don't.
You know, like, they're the fucking main character in their own story.
Exactly.
They're doing their own thing. They don't have time to think about you. And if they do, it's probably not even as negative as you think. Like, you're actually being a bit unfair by ascribing those negative feelings to that person. You're making a character judgment on them. And also, another one I love from James Smith, never accept criticism from anyone you wouldn't go to for advice, which is something that we all fucking do, don't we? You know, like, if you hear someone said something about you and you think, oh, fucking hell, really, I said that. It's like, but would you ask him for advice on anything? Do you actually respect his opinion? No. Like, if it's your fucking partner, your best mate, your parents, their words have some weight. You know, if it's just some bloke, it only seems to have weight if it's negative, not if it's positive. You know, it's weird.
Going off that, I've got a question for you. Why do you want to be the best you can be in MMA?
I don't want to have any regrets when I'm older.
Okay.
I have known a lot of people when they're in their 60s and 70s who've gone, you know, I could have done this, I could have been this, I could have done that, but X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
I'm terrified of being that person. Don't want to be that person. I want to be the person who says, yeah, I did my best. I gave it everything I absolutely possibly could, and maybe succeeded, maybe didn't. You know what I mean? That's what
similar values to what I'm doing with what I want to do. I want to give it a go. I don't want to be the factory worker who's 75 years old, living off a pension and going, what if?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I can't stand the idea of a what if.
Yeah.
Like, if I give it everything and I lose my next 7 fights in a row, get knocked out in 10 seconds,
I'd accept that.
I'd accept that as well. I would go, yeah, you know what? I gave it everything I could, and it just wasn't for
good
me.
enough on the day.
Yeah, fine, no problem. I can live with that. What I can't live with is
The what if.
oh fucking hell, you know, if I'd just done it, if I'd just actually put my head down, maybe I could have done it. I can't live with that, so I'm going to avoid all doubt and do everything I can to try and achieve it.
Just touching on what you said about your missus there, like she worries about what other people think.
Not always, like but yeah.
So when we spoke about the books when you first came in, so let's picture that as an environment, right? And this isn't aimed at your missus in general. This is more of a general statement. Is that we worry that much what other people think will change the way we dress. I've started wearing Marvel t-shirts again now. I used to wear £200 t-shirts, but these are £5.
Yeah,
because I like them. I'm not bothered no more. It goes back to the golf analogy as well. We'll go out, we'll get dressed up, we'll wear all these nice clothes, but 9 times out of 10, nobody will wake up the next morning and go, "Okay, now do you remember that lad wearing that Hugo Boss t-shirt?" Nobody gives a fuck.
No,
and it really is. So one of the first podcasts I ever did, it was with a guy from Dublin, and he wrote a book called Keep It Simple. One of the best pieces of advice I've ever been given. It's dead easy. Keep it simple. So now, even in the clothes that I wear, I won't try and, well, I've only got X amount of money in the bank, but I really want to spend £600 on a pair of jeans and a fucking t-shirt. No, mate. I'm spending £25. Keep it simple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's the book analogy. You've seen one book because you associate with it. If you were on a night out, 9 times out of 10, you're going to see your friends, your missus, their friends. Nobody else even matters on your night out. And that's what I think we do too much in life. You know, social media, you see people, or I've seen people that I know who'll spend 3 hours putting makeup on to take a photo.
Yes.
When nobody really gives a shit about that photo.
No. Yeah, it is. I mean, I've always been quite good with that, I think, just not really giving that much of a fuck what people think. I've generally been decent at it because I recognise like how futile it is, you know. Like my clothes, I've had this pair of shorts for probably 8 or 9 years. Pretty sure
t-shirt's above.
This t-shirt is well past its sell by date. And I did have that little thought in my head, you know, when I was getting dressed to come here today, I was like, I should probably stick a fucking proper t-shirt. But then I was like, no, because
that's been worn
Lee
more
doesn't
than,
fucking care.
No,
I don't care. No one cares.
it's been worn more than Gandhi's flip flop.
100%, mate. Yeah, it's seen a lot of sweat. This.
Last time we finished, mate, I asked you the question of 4 people around the dinner table.
Yeah,
so I'll ask you a different one this time.
Oh, okay.
5 facts about your favourite animal in the world.
Okay.
So 5 facts, no, let's call it 3. 3 facts why you like it, 3 facts why you don't like it.
Fucking hell. 3 facts why I like my favourite animal in the world, 3 facts why I don't. All right.
First thing that comes to mind.
We have the capacity for genuine kindness. My favourite animal is human.
Your favourite animal's a human?
A human being.
Okay.
Every entity I love most in the world is human.
Okay.
With the exception of a golden retriever and a cat. But for the most part, they're human. So it's going to be human. We have the capacity for genuine kindness. We have the ability to be genuinely selfless, I think. And I think the connection that you can have with another human is deeper than anything you can have with anything else. You know, obviously that's not... I love dogs. Absolutely love my cat as well. But that's what I'd say.
So you got kindness.
Kindness, selflessness, and the depth of connection.
Kindness,
selflessness,
and connection.
Connection, yeah.
Kindness, selfless, connection.
And the flip side of that, the negative ones are probably the only animal that has the genuine capacity for evil. Another more negative aspect of people. We can also be very, very selfish, the other end of the spectrum. Probably more so than other animals as well. And we suffer a lot. Comes back to why zebras don't get ulcers. I think we're the animal that has the biggest capacity for suffering, which is sad.
So. The reason that, John, again, the guy who's mentored me, he asked me that question when I did a podcast with him on his. And I asked him why. Why do you ask that question? And he said a lot of the time we'll find values in animals that we see in ourselves. So he said it's an important thing to ask why, because a lot of the time those values or beliefs or whatever behaviours will be values, beliefs and behaviours that we see in ourselves in the mirror. So, Spen, love it, mate. Good chat.
Cheers for having me, Lee. Good to see you.
And you.